What's going on, everyone? Jeremy here from The Quartering, and it looks like the folks over at Naughty Dog and The Last of Us 2 have stepped into another oopsie doopsie poopsie. Now, I'm not going to rehash everything that's gone on in this launch campaign. Obviously, everyone knows that all of the cutscenes leaked, and we all know the story. The biggest question going into 14 days, 13 hours, and 21 minutes from now is, will it really affect sales? We've had a wide variety of signals both directions that makes it impossible to really know for sure. We've seen people posting screenshots of canceling their pre-orders. We've seen people say they're canceling their pre-orders. We also saw Amazon mysteriously have a bunch of new ultra premium edition pre-orders that had sold out months ago be available. And as of right now, I think they're still available. And that just never happens. When you have a huge premium pre-order, $300-400 edition, more generally don't become available 2 weeks before games launch. They are a limited item, and once they're made, they're made. You don't have the production capacity to make more, ship them over from China, especially with everything going on right now. And for the past month or two, basically those boats have stopped coming. So it's definitely misleading when you hear Sony come out and say, oh, no, pre-orders are fine, they're as strong as ever. And I've always said I think this game is still going to sell just fine, because we live in a bit of a bubble here on YouTube and Twitter and whatever social media we're in. We're like a small fraction of the actual gaming community. There are giant silent markets, like places like Africa, and and that just buy video games and don't spend all day talking about them on YouTube. Here in the US, the percentage is maybe a little bit higher, but ultimately there is a large portion of people that maybe heard The Last of Us 2 leaked, but were easily able to avoid the leaks and probably didn't cancel their pre-order. And in fact, maybe the additional reminders caused them to be more likely to pre-order or purchase. I guess we'll know in 3 or 4 weeks, although now that we have digital sales, it's difficult to really know. Seems like people only come out and tell us how many copies sold if it's good news, and it's very difficult to find buried down in some financial report really what their projections were and how they actually sold. But it looks like Naughty Dog has stepped in it again. The Last of Us Part 2 trailer accused of copying artists without permission. Neil Druckmann, here's the actual tweet I should show that came out this morning, and they deleted it. Why? Why do they delete it? Hey, are you aware? Actually, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this person's, if they've told us why they deleted it. Because, it's interesting to me if there's been a real live update here while I'm recording. Let's see. Nope. Just deleted it. Just deleted it. That's really odd. After all the coverage, why did you delete this? What the heck? I mean, sure, it could be a cover by the actress herself, but it's very similar. Oh, here's her finding out on the 3rd. Yeah, they covered my cover, which means I didn't get credit or payment. That's quite upsetting. Oh, that is a bit upsetting, to be honest. Nothing be done? Thank you. It looks like she deleted her initial call out, but not all of the follow-up afterwards. So she originally said, are you aware that the True Faith cover you put in your Last of Us 2 trailer is a replica of my cover that came out 10 years ago? I wrote original parts not in the original song that are copied exactly by whoever covered it, and I am heartbroken. Boy, this is murky. This is murky. So the original artist gets boned because someone else covered it and apparently had the music equivalent of fair use, which happens all the time. Rappers have remixes and all this kind of stuff. Generally behind the scenes, though, royalties are often paid. But basically, they stole a cover of a cover. I mean, you can look at, there are many covers that vary wildly from the original. There's like a Death Cab for Cutie song that Iron and Wine covered that ended up being my wedding song. And it was just very different. So Lot Kestner, a singer-songwriter, posted on Twitter for Naughty Dog and its vice president, Neil Druckmann, pointing out that the cover of True Faith used in the song is a, quote, replica of her cover when she released it in 2011 on her album Stolen. Ha, ironic. I wrote original parts of the song and then are copied exactly by whoever covered it. I'm heartbroken. To compare, it's worth listening to Kestner's cover, the trailer, and the original New Order song. 3 minutes and 30 seconds into Kestner's version, there are some humming vocals that fit with the slower acoustic stylings of the cover, a similar vocal segment sung by Ellie in the trailer at the 45-second mark. Importantly, the original New Order track is a piece of synth music and does not feature these humming-like vocals. It's this difference that led Kestner to believe that the trailer had copied her version of the song. Well, they did. I mean, it's obvious. It's obvious they did. Is she owed billions of dollars? No, but, maybe give credit, or maybe, right now when everybody's laid off and basically musicians are always broke, you could, you're going to make, $100 million in sales selling the game. You could throw this woman like, I don't know, 5 G's, you look good. Everybody's happy. The legal status of this is murky. While currently unconfirmed, it is likely that copyright permission for the trailer was sought from New Order rather than Lot Kestner. So despite the song not being Kestner's original work, does she have any legal grounds over her arrangement? A similar case can be found back in 2013 when Jonathan Coulton, yes, the guy that wrote Portal's Still Alive, found that his folksy cover of Sir Mix-a-Lot's Baby Got Back had been covered identically by the Fox TV show Glee. Take a listen to his cover in the Glee version, no thanks. It's a very similar arrangement, right down to the banjo. When interviewed about it by Wired, Coulton said Fox got in touch with my peeps to basically say they're within their legal rights to do this. So they told him, go pound sand. Quote, it seems that because, and by the way, Glee did this all the time to musicians. If you just do a quick Google search, you can see how Glee basically bullied and stole whatever music they wanted without ever paying anybody anything. It seems that because of the compulsory license I purchased when I made a cover of the song, the arrangement itself is not protected under copyright, although it's the darkest gray of gray areas of the law. While there may be some weird offshoot of the law, it doesn't seem something where a little guy could sue to get any satisfaction. He's right. And look, when you're Fox or you're Naughty Dog, like, toss a few coins to your Witcher. I mean, what's a couple of grand? It could pay their mortgage for 2 months. I mean, it's so ridiculous that you don't think about this stuff. And then when called out, you're like, muha, we were in our legal rights. Like, you just look like a jerk. It appears then Lot Kestner may be stuck fighting that very unclear area of copyright law. So far, Naughty Dog has yet to respond publicly. IGN has reached out for comment. And I pulled up a couple of these articles, and there's no... I haven't seen any, let's say, comments. If I look right now, in all caps, we see the story. We see them getting accused to take stuff, but ultimately, no. Basically, just a bunch of journo praise. We can look at Neil Druckmann here. Druckmann. And see if he hasn't blocked me yet, if he said anything about it. Doesn't look like it. Nope, said nothing to it. I'm assuming, though, that somebody reached out to her, given the fact that she deleted the tweet, because why would you delete that? I believe that you're in the right. Now, interestingly, maybe the journos are just too busy fawning all over this game. Maybe this game really is amazing. I mean, why would journalists lie to own the gamers? They've never done that before. If you read some of these reviews, it's like the game is the second coming of, ironically. Most video games don't ask you to think twice about doing these bad things. The Last of Us makes it feel personal. I saw the extended trailer, part 2 this week, played the scene. I felt a new appreciation between the difference and all the graphical improvements. By the way, that's not what most people were saying in the live stream. The melee combat feels incredibly good, but it's hard not to wince when you slam a machete into someone's shoulder or then take them down. Well, then don't play games like that. The Last of Us 2 can create such complex emotions in the short segment. Everybody, as Ellie grabbed her foes, did this. I'm ready to face this. It's so amazing. Every one of these reviews, positive. And you know what's interesting to me Here's IGN. Enemy encounters are frequent, but that's to the credit of Naughty Dog that each one feels different to the last, whether it be down to the variety of enemy type, items at your disposal, or chosen playstyle. Every fight feels dynamic. You can go with a plan. All positive. Is this game going to end up being amazing? Is it going to be so good that the story mode, that the story of it is going to be forgotten? The disrespect to the original characters, the shock value simply for shock value, is that going to be forgotten? It's possible. I mean, every one of these reviews are overwhelmingly positive, but you know what else is true? Naughty Dog was really stingy with review copies. They didn't give any to anybody at Forbes and many other websites, which maybe they felt were going to cover them negatively, or maybe it's because maybe they covered some of the leaks. It's difficult to know, but when you're trying to get as much free press as possible, I can't imagine not giving out review copies unless you're like on a blacklist, which as far as I'm known, people like Eric Kane are not. But that's neither here nor there. Interesting Naughty Dog controversy right before launch. What do you think? Do you think they should have just maybe tossed her a few bucks beforehand? Maybe they didn't even know. Maybe they hired somebody who did it and they didn't do their due research. Totally possible. But I think right now, you give the woman some cash and you make this right. Hope you enjoyed this video. We'll talk to you again real soon.